Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, I will discuss with you one of the most sought after and preferred exam of Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. The exam name is Certificate Exam in Risk in Financial Services. This exam is conducted in collaboration with Certified Institute for Securities and Investment, which is CISI London, right? Now, remote proctoring means you will write an exam from a place of your choice. However, there will be system which will monitor you through video, mic, etc., which will indicate whether you are using any unfair practice or not. Correct? Now, what is the objective of this exam? To enable bankers to gain expertise in the area of risk management in financial services. However, my own understanding is that apart from bankers, others which are working in financial services such as insurance or capital market or investments can also do this course. Of course, depending upon the domain, there will be certain things which will be common because risk is a concept where there are many common factors across functional areas. Insurance risk is obviously different from banking risk, but still there are some common things. Correct? Now, having said this, let us understand that this exam is offered jointly by, or rather in collaboration with IIBF and CISI. So you will have to, first clear the IIBF exam and then undergo a training. Okay. So what is the process? 2 hours exam, which requires typically 40 to 60 hours of study, and the course relates to Indian scenario and risk management. If you complete this, then you will have to undergo training for 3 days at pre-announced centers. This training can be online as well as offline. I will talk about it later. Candidates who have passed level 1 can apply for level 2 from CISI, and that is a 2 hour exam with 100 hours of study required. That is what is the expectation. Institute, which is IIBF, gives you a certificate after you have completed level 1 and you have undergone training also. Okay. If you complete level 2, which is from CISI, okay, you will get a joint certificate by Institute and CISI. So after you complete level 1, you apply to IIBF, okay, with a one-time fees of 1,000 rupees plus applicable taxes, okay, and this request to enroll for CISI will be forwarded by IIBF to CISI, and then you can enroll by paying fees, which we'll talk as we go ahead. Okay. Level 1 exam will be handled in remote proctor mode only. Okay, it will be done in that way. Level 2 exam will be held in online at 8 centers throughout the year, excluding Saturday and Sunday. Candidates will have to make it convenient to appear at level 2 exam at any of the 8 center, which is by CISI. The target group is banks employees and financial institution employees. Members can apply, non-members can also apply. Non-members are those who do not work for banks, okay, or whose institution is not a member of IIBF. So if you are an individual or if you are working for a manufacturing company or an insurance company or say a capital market entity, you can register as a non-member and then write this exam. Okay. Candidates must have passed 12th standard exam, which I have already mentioned in discipline for this. If you have done 3 exams from uh, IIBF already, then in that case, you will get an exemption for the first exam. Which is the first exam? The first exam is Risk in Financial Services by IIBF. Now, which are the 3 exams that you need to pass to get this exemption? First is Diploma in Treasury Investment and Risk Management, which is called as DTIRM, or you should be a CIIB, which is Certified Associate of Indian Institute of Bankers with elective subject at Risk Management, or CIIB holder who have passed Certificate in Risk Management as separate elective is also eligible to undertake level 1 training and thereafter take level 2 exam without passing level 1 exam. So basically, you don't have to write level 1 exam if you have these qualifications. You can straight away go for training, for which you have to make an application. uh, Application requires you to have cleared any of these 3 exams, correct? Now, if you've cleared these exams, so what is the process? You will apply to for the exam by paying the requisite fee. Okay, send immediately a separate written request for granting exemption along with a copy of acknowledgement received by applying for exam and copy of result advice final certificate of the above exam passed to examination corporate office of the institute. That is the requirement, but it is only applicable if you have these qualifications. Otherwise you have to write the exam in full. The passing marks for the IIBF part of exam is 50 out of 100. You have to, you can go for a virtual training after the exam is done. 6,000 is the fee. This is the training fee. You can also do physical training. After you have completed your exam, if you want to do physical training, you can enroll at Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Kolkata by paying a fees of 5,000 plus GST. But if it is at any other center, then the fees is 9,000. Okay. You must be sure that you want to write an exam on a particular date. Okay, candidates are required to take utmost care and precaution in selecting exam date and time slot, as there is no provision to change the exam date and slot for the system. Hence, no request for change in exam and day, time slot will be entertained. Please remember this. Training fees to be paid after candidate clears the online exam. So training fees which is mentioned here, you don't have to pay in advance. Only when you pass the IIBF part of exam, which is risk in financial services, you have to pay this. Candidates who do not pass online exam in the first attempt need to enroll for second attempt by paying a nominal fee of 200. Candidates who do not pass online exam in their second attempt have to pay again 6,000. Okay, if you fail in the virtual training mode, then you will have to enroll again for the second time by paying a fees of 1,000 rupees, which means even in virtual training mode you have to kind of qualify, right? Which is what is the qualification criteria that I will share with you as we go ahead. What is the pattern of exam? It will be objective type multiple choice questions for 100 marks, right? Including some based on case study and caselets. The institute may, however, modify the number of questions asked for a subject. The exam will be only in online mode and there will be no negative marking. So this is for IIBF part of the exam. Duration of the exam will be 2 hours. Means you have to attempt all those 100 questions in 2 hours. 50 is the passing marks, no negative marking. Examination will be conducted on pre-announced date on IIBF website. Institute conducts exam on second and fourth Saturday, and all Sundays. However, periodicity of the exam may be changed depending upon the requirement of banking industry. So please check when is the exam being held. Okay, you have to apply for exam. You have to register for it. Okay, uh, at the time of registration, the candidate will select the date and time, or at the time of registration, candidate can register for e-learning ebook if it is required by paying the requisite fee. Okay, exam will be remote proctored. There are a lot of guidelines. Okay, you will have to display your PAN card or your driving license or your election voter ID card, etc. These are the guidelines. Basically, you may be required to show 360-degree view of the examination area where you are sitting. Okay, both sides of the rough sheet should be shown to the proctor. Okay, and all these are the guidelines that you basically need to read. You have a system requirement. Please ensure that your system meets these requirements, right? Because you will have to what you have to do is you will have to also deploy a software to write the exam. Exam is not allowed on mobile and tablets. There are do's and don'ts which I am not discussing. You will have to read this. Okay, please do read this, because these do's and don'ts are basically to ensure that there is enough hygiene check in the exam when you are writing, because it is remote proctored and there are provisions for cancellation. Okay, um, this is very important for you to note, but I'm not discussing this because this is more like what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Okay, during the remote proctor exam, the images, videos, sounds of the candidates and their computer systems will be captured and stored for examination proctoring purpose. It is envisaged that candidates who register for remote proctoring examination agree for this. So you are giving the consent, which is the point. Then you have a training. Training is done only after you have completed successfully the written exam, which was done through remote proctor. During the training, candidates will be assessed for training performance out of total 50 marks. Marks for training will be awarded to candidates by faculty for their training participation, analytical skill, case studies, dealing ability, presentation skills, etc. So this is how the evaluation happens. Attendance is 50 uh, percent. Total marks is 50. Okay, you need to be present for X number of days to get 25. And there is an MCQ which is again for 50, and 25 is the passing. Okay, so there are 10 sessions spread in 3 days. Attending minimum 5 sessions will be compulsory. This will correspond to 25. Okay, Day 1 and 2 will have 4 sessions each. Day 3 will have 2 sessions. So there are 10 sessions. Each session will have 5 MCQ. The MCQ test will be at the end of the course. There will be thus total 50 MCQs, correct? What is the time limit for training? After you pass the exam, training is to be done within 15 months. If you do not do within 15 months, then what happens if a candidate fails to complete the training either on account of not being able to successfully complete the training or for not attending the training within stipulated time? The candidates would be required to re-enroll for online exam, right? This is what you have to do. So be careful that you complete it within how many months? 15 months. The institutes have developed a courseware for the syllabus. The courseware for the subjects will be available at outlets of publisher. Please visit IIBF website under exam related for details of books and address of publishers. Candidates are advised to make full use of the courseware. Correct. However, as banking and finance fields are dynamic, rules and regulations keep changing. Therefore, courseware should not be considered as the only source. In fact, the reality is that in some cases, courseware is not also fully updated. Right. Candidates are advised to go through updates put on IIBF website through master circulars, master direction by RBI, and follow other things like IFBA Vision, BankQuest, etc. Okay. So basically, how do you keep yourself updated? E-learning institute facilitates e-learning. If you want to undergo, candidates can access e-learning by paying the fees, right? So you have to pay additional fees. E-learning offered to the candidate is solely at the discretion of institute, which is again a disclaimer. There is a cutoff guidelines important development. Okay, the institute has a practice of asking questions in each exam about the recent development. However, there could be change in the developments guidelines from the date of the question paper are prepared and dates of the actual exam. Okay, so this is what has been put as the cutoff. This cutoff keeps on changing. Okay, now tutorial contacts program may be organized by institute at various centers. That's fine. Then you have the syllabus that you need to know. Okay, so what is the syllabus? Paper one is risk management. So you need to know about risk management, risk definitions, what is risk and all that. Okay, lessons from crisis, risk management framework under the head. Okay, assets liability management, liquidity management. Then module B is about credit risk. So what was the module one? One was just about risk and risk management framework. Module two is about credit risk. You get to know about various types of credit risk, including rating, portfolio risk, credit risk models, calculation, PD, LGD, EAD. I have made a video on all this. You can check it on my website. It is already there. You need to also know about credit derivatives. Module C is about market risk. You need to know about various market risk like your equity price risk, interest rate risk, commodity risk, foreign exchange risk. Module D talks about operational risk because remember, from Basel perspective, credit, market, and operational risks are three most important risks for the bank. And obviously, there is a Basel guideline which is also covered in module E, correct? All the aspects, ICAP and everything is there, stress testing is there. Then you have derivatives and risk management. How do you mitigate risk with derivatives? So you have forward, futures, options, and swaps. And then you have statistical concepts which are also taught to you, which includes probability and basics of statistics, including mean, median, mode, central tendency, which is measures of dispersion, measures of skewness, measures of kurtosis, measures of correlation, and all that are taught to you, right? Then this is level 1. Level 2 is from CISI. So there is a syllabus separately from CISI. This has got study requirement of 100 hours. Now you have to pay a separate fee for this exam after you have put a request through IIBF by paying a fees of 1,000. You will have to pay first attempt fee of pound 130, which is in today's time I would say 130 into 120 approximately, because pound is at 115-16 rupees, but then there are some fees also that you have to pay. So you can approximately think that it will go up to 113 to 120, will be around roughly around 15,600, 700. And in the second attempt, you have to pay 80 if you fail to clear. The question is again in terms of multiple choice. There are 100 questions. Okay, 2 hours is the duration. The exam is conducted throughout the year except Saturday and Sunday. Passing marks is slightly higher. It is at 70%. Okay. And what are the risks that you have need to cover here? Principle of risk management, international risk management, operational risk, credit risk, market risk, investment risk, liquidity risk, corporate governance and oversight, model risk, all these will be covered. Okay. What is the procedure for applying? So that is what has been discussed already. I will prepare a list of candidates who have passed the level one, and that list will be sent to, basically after the exemption has been granted, will be sent to CISI. Okay, CISI will inform those candidates directly the procedure, the guidance for registration of the level 2, right? This is the address for, okay, CISS, SI, physical center. Okay, and the email address has also been given. Okay, there will be multiple choice questions that will be asked, and these MCQs are part of the question bank of the institute. As a matter of policy, these MCQs and their answers will not be shared by institute with the candidate or others, and no correspondence in this regard will be entertained. Okay, so basically, if you see this particular course, this course is having good content, covers the risk from local as well as international perspective, and it is also cost effective because you will pass this course in around maximum, if you do it all in one attempt, it should be around 25 to 30,000 depending upon training fees and physical training location, right? So that's about this particular course. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you for your valuable